So we come into you here on YouTube with our post-game wrap-up. We have been hearing fans asking for a little bit more from us here on the YouTube platform. We are going to do that, and it's not just going to be me checking in with some post-game wrap-ups. It's going to be a lot of stuff between Doug Norrie and myself, so we're going to be building this. If you're some listeners, we know we have followers out in Australia who have utilized YouTube to get some information around them. The quick wrap-up of the Brooklyn Nets matchup taking on the San Antonio Spurs, highlighted by, unfortunately, a disappointing loss for the team as Nawaba went down with an injury. We do highlight that it came through over on Twitter. Looks like he has a torn right Achilles tendon, more than likely a season-ending injury for him. Certainly a disappointment. It took the wind out of my sails watching the game, made it hard to be overly concerned about what else was going to go on in that matchup. Certainly, we just hope that he's doing all right, and now we also will, of course, look to see how the Nets replace him. Does Amon Shumpert get a call back to rejoin this team, and who's going to replace those quality minutes for them, both offensively with his nice output, and then defensively, defending multiple positions and giving you great consistency from that standpoint. Quality player. Disappointing to see him lose, for the Nets to lose him in the team. 118 to 105, the Nets fall. It's highlighted on the Spurs side of things by Patty Mills, quote-unquote, off the bench, but gave you 26 minutes, 8 of 14, with 7 of 10 from beyond the arc, so that certainly was big there. As we highlight here, they were highlighting some of the stat lines from Nawaba. We'll touch on that in a second as well. But big performance from Patty Mills, 13 points also from White off the bench, 20 from Ulrich, Murray giving you 13, and then 12 points from DeRozan in a 4-14 performance that you feel like will be an opportunity for the Nets to get into some rhythm there. But this is highlighted by a couple of things. Nets, 18 turnovers. Both teams had a number of turnovers there heading into the second half, but Spurs cleaned it up. Nets did not. Spurs went on a 17-0 run. That's not going to help you either, certainly. Nets, in spite of shooting 28 of 30 from the free throw line, 93%, doesn't really help you out anyway because you struggle and go just 7 of 36 from beyond the arc, under 20%. We highlighted it on our broadcast over on Sportscaster, where you can follow the play-by-play on a game-to-game basis. We go wire to wire there. When they shoot over 35% from beyond the arc, they're 10-2. When they don't, they are now 5-11. So obviously it's a big barometer for them and something that they've struggled with in a number of these past few games here. Be curious to see how Kenny Atkinson tries to address that and figure out what they need to scheme to get some of those looks to start to fall for them. This is a little bit of a disappointing loss given that you had the lead at halftime. So this is some old hat early season issues, turnovers, and then bad play coming out of the halftime. It ends up wasting a career high 41-point performance from Spencer Dinwiddie. He had a last second three there that if you want to take that out of it, he was 4 of 28, 50% from the field, 4 of 10 from beyond the arc, 9 of 10 at the line. A homecoming of sorts for Jarrett Allen, where he had 19 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line, and yet it could not transition into an opportunity for a win. We also highlighted that Podol for the San Antonio Spurs in those 16 minutes of action really impacted some things on the interior. Denied a lot of looks around the rim for the Brooklyn Nets, and certainly where they were having success in spite of Ulrich having 4 blocks in this game, they were still able to attack at him and get those looks to go. Podol came in, physical size, a little bit bigger, created some opportunities there, and then a couple of foul calls here and there down the stretch that the Nets certainly didn't agree with, but that happens on a game-to-game basis. You're never going to hang your hat or say that it's their fault. Ends up finishing 47 apiece in the rebound battle, and then certainly the assist numbers. Nets 16 on 35 made field goals, not necessarily as high as the Nets want to be there. So we come to you and say it's a shame that the Brooklyn Nets lost this one. A 118 to 105 loss. Certainly not what you wanted to do in a short 2-game road trip. The Nets will now come back home Saturday to take on the Atlanta Hawks, a team that if you're looking to get back on the right track, that's one you can look to. And then after the holiday break, they'll have the New York Knicks, who have been at least getting themselves a little bit better here following the firing of Fizdale. Now maybe just rejuvenated by new opportunities. So if you've been following along with us here on YouTube, hopefully you like the resurgence here. I did a little pregame coverage, gave you some halftime insights, and now a post-game look where we will go ahead and let you know to head on over tomorrow. Another podcast episode will be up for you with Doug Norrie and myself. We'll touch briefly on the Pelicans game, focus a lot on this one, the injury to Nawaba and what that may mean. And then Doug Norrie will be getting on with Matt Brooks there. So if you're a fan of him in and around the Nets universe, they're going to have a great conversation around the Nets and around NBA in general. That will be the main feature of the podcast tomorrow. And then we'll come back in following the weekend to touch base on all things Brooklyn Nets. So get over to iTunes at We Got Nets and download, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast as we continue to grow this platform on social media at We Got Nets, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then Sportscaster, where I am doing that live play-by-play coverage and weekly check-ins on all things Brooklyn Nets, news and notes, injury updates, roster moves, things around the coaching staff, post-game press conferences, and what the players and coaches have to say following wins and losses. We, as of January 1st, are officially going to be the Sportscaster Brooklyn Nets affiliate. So we are very excited that we're able to lock that up. We appreciate the fan base joining us. If you're watching here and you want to get some coverage, and if you can't see the games live, head over to the Sportscaster platform and join us there. Certainly, I am there each and every game trying to give you as much insight and information around the Brooklyn Nets. This is the We Got Nets platform, an empire trying to grow. So along with myself and Doug Norrie, many thanks for supporting us there and anywhere that you do. Hopefully you're also enjoying us as we re-engage here on YouTube and start to build towards that 100+ followers where we get to name our channel. We'll be able to start doing live YouTube streams at that point as well. And that means that we're going to be giving you some more bonus content, and certainly Doug and I are talking about some new and exciting things as we head into the new year to continue to give you as much as you can possibly handle Brooklyn Nets content, news, notes, information, and insights. So, once again, on behalf of the We Got Nets podcast, I am Adam Marbrecht saying many thanks for joining us here on YouTube for the post-game wrap-up. We will be back on Sportscaster for play-by-play on Saturday, and keep your eye out for that podcast episode with Doug Norrie's conversation with Matt Brooks coming to you tomorrow, Friday, December 20th. For all things Brooklyn Nets, I have been Adam Armbrecht in the We Got Nets podcast. Many thanks. We will catch up with you soon.